We think we know these icons, but we only know the surface. Today, we're looking at 24 legendary women who didn't just survive Hollywood, they outsmarted it. Let's get into it. 1. Goldie Hawn. Everyone knows the smile, but nobody talks about the hustle. She was a professional go-go dancer in cages. She didn't just make it, she survived the grit of the 60s club scene. She's 80 now, and that mischievous energy? That's not acting, that's just who she is. 2. Jaclyn Smith. She was the heart of Charlie's Angels. People forget that while the other girls were leaving, Jaclyn stayed. She saw the future of business way before anyone else. She's the ultimate example of a woman who played the long game and won. 3. Susan Sarandon. Susan is the definition of cool. She never played by the rules. She's a ping pong fanatic who built high-end clubs just because she loved the game. She's one of the few who stayed authentic even when Hollywood tried to turn her into a standard leading lady. 4. Glenn Close. You want to know where that intensity comes from? She survived a cult-like religious group as a kid. When she's on screen, you're watching a woman who had to fight for her own mind. That's not just skill, that's survival. 5. Meryl Streep, the GOAT. We all know the talent, but the fact that she was called too ugly for King Kong and clapped back in fluent Italian, that's the kind of savage energy we need more of. She's a reminder that talent always beats the industry's beauty standard. 6. Jessica Lange. Before she was a household name, she was a true bohemian, living in Paris, rooming with Grace Jones. That's not Hollywood, that's life experience. Why her performances feel so heavy and real. She's got the soul of a poet. 7. Sigourney Weaver. 6 feet of pure power. She fought to be seen as a lead in an era where they wanted women to be small. She invented the modern action hero, and honestly, cinema would be boring as hell without her. 8. Kathleen Turner. That voice. That husky, unforgettable voice. It's pure gold. She fought through a brutal medical battle in silence, and seeing her now, you realize how much grit she actually has. She's a legend for the right reason. 9. Kim Basinger. She was a shy kid who turned into the ultimate screen goddess. But buying an entire town in Georgia? That is the most Kim Basinger move in history. It didn't work out, but you have to admire the absolute nerve. 10. Gina Davis, a Mensa-level genius. People see the face, but they don't realize they're looking at an IQ that's in the top 2% of the world. She's the smartest person in any room she walks into. 11. Sharon Stone. This one hits hard. A brain hemorrhage, a stroke, losing her speech. She had to rebuild her life zero. She's not just an actress, she's a masterclass in human resilience. 12. Andie MacDowell. She walked the runway for Vogue before movies, and now she's leading the charge on embracing gray hair. So refreshing to see someone tell Hollywood no and look better for it. We've hit the halfway mark. We're looking at legends who redefined what it means to be a woman in this industry. If you're digging these stories and the real talk, hit that like button. It helps the channel reach more people who appreciate the real legends. Which of these facts blew your mind? Drop a comment. I'm reading every one of them. 13. Michelle Pfeiffer. When she first hit LA, she was lured into a restrictive breatharian cult. They convinced her she didn't need food or water. She had to claw her way out of that mental prison to become the icon we know. That's why she has that guarded, intense look. She's a survivor who escaped the worst. 14. Jamie Lee Curtis. She's not just Hollywood royalty, she's a baroness by marriage, and she's an inventor. She patented a specialized diaper with a waterproof pocket. She's got the weirdest, most interesting brain in the industry. She doesn't care about being glamorous, she cares about being real. 15. Brooke Shields. Brooke was the most famous face on Earth by 14. Instead of staying in the spotlight, she did the unthinkable. She walked away from millions to study at Princeton. She chose her brain over her beauty. That discipline? That's what separates a legend from a one-hit wonder. 16. Diane Lane. She was a whiz kid on the cover of Time at 14. Most kids who get that kind of pressure end up in rehab or broke. Diane didn't just survive, she mastered her craft. She's been working longer than most of us have been alive, and she's stayed scandal-free. 17. Heather Locklear. Aaron Smelling called her his lucky penny. Whenever he had a show failing, he'd call Heather, and the ratings would explode. She was a ratings weapon. She understood the business better than the executives did. 18. Meg Ryan. Her entire career was an accident. She was a journalism major at NYU who only took acting gigs to pay her rent. She never wanted to be a star. She ended up becoming one of the biggest box office draws of our generation by mistake. 19. Demi Moore. She broke the glass ceiling for paychecks. When she demanded $12 million for striptease, Hollywood tried to blacklist her. She didn't care. She broke the door down for every woman who followed. 20. Jodie Foster. Jodie Foster is flat out dangerous when it comes to intellect. She graduated magna cum laude from Yale, speaks French, and dubs her own voice. There's literally an asteroid named after her. She's not a celebrity, she's an institution. 21. Helen Hunt. Winning an Oscar and an Emmy in the same year is a glitch in the Matrix. She directed her own work because she got tired of waiting for permission. Even after a life-threatening car crash, she was back on set in days. 22. Sandra Bullock. She's lethal with her money. She's donated millions to the Red Cross every time a tragedy hits, but she refuses to use it for PR. She doesn't post about it. She just writes the check and vanishes. Total class. 23. Julia Roberts. Her birth story is insane. Her parents ran a theater school and took in MLK Jr.'s kids when no one else would. When Julia was born, her parents were broke, so the King family paid her hospital bill. She was literally paid for by history. 24. Cameron Diaz. She went to high school with Snoop Dogg and was buying weed from him back in the day. She reached the top of the mountain, made hundreds of millions, and then said, "I'm done," and walked away for a decade. She didn't care about the fame, she cared about her life. These 24 women didn't just survive Hollywood, they conquered it by being smarter, tougher, and more real than the roles they played. From the go-go dancers to the Mensa geniuses, they all had one thing in common: character. Which one of these stories actually hit home for you? Drop it in the comments below. I'm reading every single one. Thanks for running this with me. See you in the next one.